Hi everyone, thanks for swinging by. My name's Chris, and in this video we're going to be setting up a small niche website. So quite casual, nothing too difficult. I'm just going to be basically walking you through the process of setting up a small website. So how I would go from having an idea to having a website surrounding that idea or niche. So a few things you need to remember when starting your own website. You need to obviously think about what you want it to be about, and you need to be able to do some keyword research on it or niche research to find out how competitive that niche is. Okay, so to do this, you're going to need a keyword research tool as your first protocol. So this is what you're looking at right now. This is Jaxi, and this is basically just a keyword slash niche discovery tool which gives you the monthly searches, estimated traffic, and the QSR and so on of a keyword. So the monthly searches is just how much a specific key phrase gets searched each month in the search engines. So if you look at Craigslist cars for sale, that gets 35,000 monthly searches and an estimated traffic is 6,000. Now that just means if you're on the first page of Google, in the first position, that's the estimated amount of traffic that you're going to get. Okay, the QSR just stands for quoted search results. Now this just means the amount of competing web pages out there that Google knows about for that specific key phrase. Okay, so generally speaking, when we're looking for a keyword to use to rank our website under, you want it to be under 400. So the QSR should be under 400. Anything above that is generally harder to rank for that keyword. So the KQI is just a green, yellow, red light combination. Basically, if it's green, the keyword's good to go. The SEO power is just another ranking metric, which is basically a combination of the first four. The domain search is basically when you find a keyword that you want to rank for, you can come in here and buy your domain straight out of Jaxi. So what you want to do is when you're looking for a domain, generally speaking, you'd want to go for the .com or the .org because they're easier to rank for. The .net and .info and all the ones with the dashes in between, you can use them if you want, but it's generally harder to rank for a keyword under them. So if you can get the .com or .org, go for it. If they're available before the rest of them. But if you really want to rank for a keyword and .com and .org aren't available, you can use the other ones. It will just be harder to rank for that keyword under the extensions. Okay, so before we go much further and I actually show you the method I went through to find the keyword that we're going to be using on the niche site we're building together, I'll actually show you how to do some keyword research there now. So say for example you wanted to go into a niche that was involving something to do with the Kindle Fire. Now you would come over to Jaxi and you type in Kindle Fire. Now because this is a broad search term, the chances are the QSR is going to be really high. Which it is for most of these keywords down here. So what we have to do is try and narrow our search term down to something that's a little more targeted, and we also do this because it tends to convert a lot better as well, because it's something that people are actually searching for. When somebody types in Kindle Fire into the search engines, it's a bit broad, so they could be looking for Kindle Fire, the first one that came out, the second one came out, or Kindle Fire cases or whatever. So what we do is we're going to narrow down our search term to something exact. Now we could look through these keywords down here to find something that's a little more targeted, but chances are because it's a broad search term, they'll all be high QSR. And you'll generally find that with a lot of keywords that are broad. So to narrow down this search term, what we do is we type it into Google and we use the instant tool that Google introduced not that long ago, which is basically just a list that appears underneath your search term, but this list is what people are actually recently been searching for, and Google tends to keep this current and up to date. So we can see that Kindle Fire covers have been searched for. Now because a niche website promotes one product, it's not going to promote a list of different covers. So we would take the S out, and from here we would just start plugging in all the different letters of the alphabet. Now for Q, you can see that quilted Kindle Fire cover is something that people are searching for. From W, you can see that Kindle Fire cover with keyboard is something that people are searching for, and so on. So you could do that through the whole alphabet, and that will give you the chance to leverage a long tail keyword. Now you could also type a word in, for example Kindle Fire cover with, and that will give you maybe a lot of other things that people are searching for, and you could keep doing that. Kindle Fire cover with, we'll say keyboard. So from this we've got Kindle Fire HD cover with keyboard. Now to me that doesn't make a lot of sense, so let's take Kindle Fire keyboard and plug that back into Jaxie and see what kind of results that brings back. Because this is a long tail keyword, you'll probably find the QSR will be a lot lower, and the good thing is it's a lot more targeted to what somebody might be looking for. So from this we can see that Kindle Fire cover with keyboard is a term that's been searched, has a QSR of 4, and the estimated traffic, if you're on the first position of page 1 of Google, you'd get roughly 28 visitors a month from that keyword. Now Kindle Fire keyboard case is a little higher search volume wise, and the QSR is also very low, which is 73. Now 73 is really good. A lot of keywords that I generally pick up have a QSR of maybe between 350 and 400, and that's okay, but as long as it's under 400. So to find a keyword with a QSR of 73 means it's going to be really easy to rank for, and it does make sense as well. So say for example you wanted to go for this keyword, you would come over to the find domain, and if the .com or .org, well the .com and .org is available, so that's good news. That means you could take the .com and it would be easy to rank for that keyword under this domain name. Now you could write content surrounding this keyword and find a nice cover that maybe has been sold on Amazon and promote that cover, and that would be a small niche website. So that's just basically how keyword research is done. It's not difficult. I could go over a few more keywords, but it's really the same principle all the time. As long as you find a high search volume, a good estimated traffic, and the QSR is below 400. A point to remember is the search volume doesn't really matter that much. You should always make sure that the QSR is low, because if you can't rank for the keyword, then there's no point writing content and wasting time around it. So a good thing to remember is when you pick up a lot of these keywords, eventually they're all going to add up, and you'll be getting a lot of different traffic from a lot of different keywords instead of going after that one big keyword, because it really is a waste of time unless you're really wanting to work hard for it, and it can take a really long time to see good results from it. Okay, so the next thing you want to look at after doing keyword research is you want to make sure that the QSR is right. Now I want to just show you how accurate Jaxie is here, because when I'm looking at this keyword right now, I'm thinking monthly searches of 500 is pretty good and the QSR is really low, so I just want to make sure that Jaxie is quite close with this. So what you can do is copy and paste this keyword back into Google. Except this time what we're going to do is put quotes around it. Now this is going to tell us the exact amount of traffic that this sorry, the exact amount of competition that this keyword gets, meaning how many pages out there or websites are actually using this key phrase in their content and trying to rank for it. Now to do this, all you do is go to the very last page of Google. Now because the QSR is 73, you won't need to trail through loads of different pages. So Google says that there's 85 competing pages out there, which is pretty close to what Jaxie said, 73, and you should know that Google tend to actually inflate the results a little, so I would really go with more what Jaxie says over Google. And that's just another way where you can cross-reference the QSR. Okay, so that's pretty much keyword research. There is a free tool you can use. Obviously I use Jaxie, but I pay for it. There's Google AdWords, and they have a keyword tool as well. If I'm honest, I don't really like using this tool. People do use it, but I'm not a big fan because I don't think the results on it are accurate at all. I can show you what I mean. Say you are looking for how to do keyword research. Now, if you're going to use this, always remember to click only ideas closely related and change the search, the match type, sorry, from broad to exact. Okay, so for this keyword, how to do keyword research, they saying the competition is low and the global monthly searches is 728. Now, if we put the same keyword into Jaxie, we'll see what results it pulls back. Okay, so it was quite close with the monthly searches, maybe about 100 out, which really isn't actually that accurate if I'm being honest. The QSR is really high, and it said that the competing pages, and here your competition was actually low, so really it's not really that accurate if I'm honest. We could do it with another keyword just so you get an idea of what I mean. We'll use best keyword research tool and see what kind of results that pulls back. Okay, so from this keyword we can see it says the competition is high and the global monthly searches is 1000. So if we go back to Jaxie, and we can see that the monthly searches is actually half what Google AdWords was saying, and the QSR, it is high, but the KQI is green, so it probably means that the pages on the first page of Google for this keyword aren't actually properly targeting this keyword. So that to me would suggest that this is actually quite a low QSR. It would be easy, not easy, but it would be worthwhile trying to rank for. So if I'm honest, I don't really condone using Google AdWords because I don't think it will give you proper search results over the likes of another keyword tool such as Jaxie or maybe something else. But that is basically keyword research in a nutshell. A few things to remember is when you're doing keyword research, make sure the QSR is low, that would be under 400, and the estimated traffic is over 50. I've seen myself go for keywords that have an estimated traffic over 30, so as long as the keyword's worth going after, definitely try and rank for that. Just don't be going after keywords that have a huge QSR, because the chances of you ranking for them in the search engines is going to be very slim. And like I said, I know some of you might be thinking, what's the point in going after a keyword that has a low search volume, like maybe 50 a month? Well, the point is, if you can rank for maybe 10, 15, 20 of the keywords, it's going to add up. So you're going to be pulling in traffic from a lot of different keywords rather than going after that one big keyword. Okay, so next, once we find the keyword that we want to rank our niche website under, we have to buy our domain. Now, I've already done this for the keyword that we're going to be using, which is TV antennas at digital TV. Now, in that keyword, I use a stop word, and I'll explain that in a second. But basically, how I found this keyword was I was watching TV the other day, and my picture was scrambling, and I came onto Google to find a new television antenna. But I then opened Jaxi just to find out what the competition would be like in that kind of niche. So I came to Jaxi and I typed in TV antennas for digital TV. Now, I was quite lucky in this niche because I found a keyword right away that we could do this niche website around. But ideally, if I was coming into this niche, I seen TV antennas for digital TV, and I thought that would be a good keyword to try and maybe rank our niche website under, because the search volume was high and the QSR is relatively high, but it would be okay for a domain name because I figured we could look for some more keywords to rank that website under. So I came over to the domain search, and the .com and the .org were taken, so I couldn't actually go after that keyword. Well, I could, but I'd rather get the .com or .org. So I was doing a bit of research on Google the other week, and well, within Wealthy Affiliate, some of the members were talking about stop words, and I was interested to find out what they were, so I went onto Google and I found a list of what Google uses stop words, and basically all this is the words that Google don't include in their search when they're pulling back results from the search phrase that you typed into Google. So I always wondered if you could use these stop words in a keyword that doesn't make sense to make it make sense, and see if you could rank a website under it. So what I'd done was I came to this keyword up here and I wrote at in between it just to see where the results that it would turn, and they were actually okay. It was a keyword that was actually worth going after. It has the same monthly searches as the one with 4 between it, except the QSR was actually much lower. Now, the thing to remember is, while I'm ranking for or trying to rank a website under this keyword, I'm actually competing with the QSR of the 4, because TV antennas, digital TV are actually the words that are being searched for. So although the QSR says 21, I just take it to be that I'll be competing for the position of the 4. So I decided to go for the .com version of this domain. I wonder if it will show up that it's gone. Well, it says that it's still available at GoDaddy, but I've bought the .com version. So that's the keyword that we're going to be ranking our website under, and I done a little bit of niche research into this, and I went into Amazon and found some antennas that we could review and promote on our website. So that's basically how we're going to do it. The next step from here, once you find the keyword that you want to use, or the keyword that you want to rank your niche website under, you're going to go to your hosting company and you're going to buy the domain. Once you decide which keyword you want to rank your niche website under, the next step is coming and finding a hosting company. Now, I use HostGator just now because the support's really fast and the service is really good, and I've never really had any problems with them, but you can choose a different hosting company if you want. So what you're going to do is, when you land on this page, come down to view hosting plans. From here you're going to choose which hosting package you want. I usually go with the baby plan because it allows me to buy unlimited domains and host them on my hosting platform. You can choose business or Hatchon if you want, but you know, I don't need a toll-free number, and with a hatchling plan, I know I'm going to be purchasing more domains in the future. Okay, now you're going to choose your billing cycle. Now, I generally go for the monthly cycle because I don't like to be tied down. Once you land on this page, you're going to put in your keyword here that you want to rank your niche website under. Now, before we go any further, I just want to talk to you about the difference between a branded and a keyword rich domain. So basically, with a keyword rich domain, you have the keywords actually in the domain name. This is good because it helps give the website an extra SEO boost, because if you think about it, your keyword isn't only in the title and the meta description, but it's actually in the domain as well, which is part of Google's ranking metric. So effectively, when someone Googles buy Bob Marley headphones and your niche website is buybobmarleyheadphones.com, it's going to give you an extra boost in the search engines. With a branded domain, you're likely to have long-term success. The reason branded is good is because it's nice and short, maybe 3 words max, so people will remember it and it's very possible to have long-term success. If you think about it, the likes of Reddit, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, etc., they have all become very successful and none of them have anything to do with social media or social media news in their domain name. So if you're looking to build a business on something you're passionate about, for example building an online business, then I would always go with the branded route, because once your website becomes well known, people remember it, and this is what we call building an authority website. So for a small niche website, go with keyword rich, and for a long-term business idea on something you're passionate about, I'd absolutely go with a branded domain. Okay, so when you get to this page, all you're going to do is stick in your keyword that you're wanting to rank your niche website under. Now, there's a drop down menu here. You can choose the .com, .net, .org. The US is actually new there. Always go for the .com if you can get it. If you can't get the .com, then go for the .org. Remember what we're talking about. If you think a keyword's worth going after, then you can always use the .net. It's just going to take a bit longer to actually rank for that keyword in the search engines. Okay, so next we're just going to confirm and pay. Now, when you scroll down here, there's going to be a few upsells. You don't need any of these, so you can just untick the boxes, and then scroll down to the bottom and pay. So I've already bought the domain name, so I don't need to go through this process. But obviously when you go through this process, you're going to be sent a confirmation email. It will have your account information in it, that is your information to your cPanel, and it will give you your password and username. It will also give you the name servers that you'll have to point your website towards. So the next step is going to be setting our name servers. So to do this, you're going to come over and log into HostGator. Now your email and your password will just be the one you created when you were setting up your domain name. When you log in here, you're going to want to come over to view domain names. Now, because the domain name that I created is an add-on domain, you won't see it in here, but for the people who are creating their very first domain, you're going to want to come in here and you'll see it. So whatever your domain name's called, you're going to go and open up your account information email, and where it says name server 1 and name server 2, you're going to copy and paste into these boxes here and click save. Now that will be what you do if you're setting up your very first domain. If you already have a domain name, then you're going to want to add it to the add-on domain section, and this is through Registry Rocket. So to get to that section, all you do is go back to your hosting, the homepage of your hosting company. and come down to the bottom and go to Registry Rocket down here. Now to log into this one, all you have to do is stick in your domain that you've just registered and the password that you created when you were registering that domain. And when you finally get into this section, you're just going to do the same thing again. Come down to where it says name server or domain name server 1 and 2, and in your confirmation email with your account information, you're just going to stick in name server 1 and name server 2. And what this basically does is it points your website to HostGator's server, and if you, by doing this starts the propagation period. If you don't do this, it means it's going to take longer for your website to get up and running. After you do this and save it, it's going to take about, they say 48 hours, but at the very most it's took me 6 hours before, and usually it's up and running within the hour. So if you don't do this, you won't be able to get to your WordPress login page. Okay. So the next step is going to be uploading WordPress to our website. Now to do this, we'll come across to our HostGator control panel. All this is our website control panel. To get to this section yourself, what you'll do is go into your account information email and you'll be given a link to this to the login page of your cPanel, and you'll also be given the password and username in that email as well. Once you put that in, you'll come to this page here. So all you do is scroll down to the bottom, and where here it says quick install, just going to click on that. And as you can see, I've already installed WordPress onto this domain. So all you're going to do is follow this wizard. It says click WordPress and click continue. Now here you're just going to, from the drop down arrow, you're going to click the domain that you've just registered, and you're going to stick in an email address that people can contact you through that website. So just a normal Gmail account will be absolutely fine to use for this. Your blog title, you just put in what your keyword is. Your username, just a normal username, you can decide what that is. Your first and last name, and click install. Now because I've already installed WordPress onto this domain, I can't do this just now. So once you click install, it's going to take about 3 seconds to install, and you'll be given a username and a password. You'll click the link that will be around about this section somewhere, and it will take you to your WordPress login page. It will look like this. From here, all you're going to do is log into your back end. Okay, so before we push on with WordPress, I'm just going to show you another way that you can install WordPress. Now, when we install WordPress there, we use quick install, but with most cPanels, you're probably going to find that the most common application used to install WordPress is the Fantastico app. Now, as far as I know, quick install is only unique to HostGator, so a lot of people are actually going to be using this application here, and this will be most common to most cPanels, so the majority will probably find that this is what you're going to be using to install WordPress. So again, you're just going to follow the wizard through. You're going to come down and install WordPress here, and just continue with installation. And again, you're just going to follow this wizard through, and at the end click install WordPress. Okay, so that's probably going to be what you'll use if you don't use HostGator as your hosting company. Okay, so to push on with WordPress, the first thing you're going to want to do when you're in your back end for the first time is if you're prompted to update WordPress to the latest version, that's what you're going to do. I've got some updates I have to take care of here now, so I'll do this quickly before we move on. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is when you get into WordPress, you're going to come down to your settings, which is just down here, and go to general. Okay, so from here you're just going to update your site title. Just keep your site title, if it's not already filled in, to what your keyword is. And for your tagline, you can just most people will duplicate the site title, the tagline, so you can do that if you want, or you can add in the tagline. Now with the theme that I'm using, it's probably not going to get shown, so it's not really such a big deal, but you can add in your tagline anyway, because you might choose a theme where your tagline is actually shown on the front end. Okay, next you're going to come down and update your time zone, so obviously just wherever you stay, and set your date format. Okay, so that's all you're going to do in here. Now remember, when you are in here changing your settings, you're going to want to remember to save all the time, okay, because a lot of times I've come in here and changed all my settings and forgot to save and wondered why nothing was taking effect. Okay, next you're going to come to writing, and in this section all you're going to do is change this option to correct invalidly nested XHTML automatically, and at the bottom of this page you're going to update your services. Now this is just a list of services that get pinged every single time you write content, either in a page or a post, and hit update. So I'll leave these services underneath the video. Okay, next you're going to go to reading. In this section, what you're going to want to do is, depending on how you want your website layout to look, you're going to change either the front page to display latest posts or a static page. Now if you leave it to display latest posts, what's going to happen is every single time you write content and publish it, it's going to display that on the home page as your latest post. Now it will show recent posts as well underneath that, and it will look more like a blog roll. So depending on how you want your website laid out, you can have it look like a blog roll, or you can have it look like a static page. Now on the website that you found this video on, that's a static page, and in here you're just going to come in and choose which page you want to be displayed as your home page. Now the reason I've got pages in here is because I've already created pages here in the pages section, so you won't have this in here to begin with, but when you start creating pages you're going to have the option to choose a static front page. Okay, and your posts page, you just do the same thing there again. You're going to choose which one you want displayed on your post page. Okay, and after you're finished in here, you're going to want to click Save Changes. Okay, in discussion, when you come in here, you're going to have this box here ticked, allow people to post comments on your articles. I would suggest to begin with that you untick this just now. The reason for that is because you don't want visitors commenting on any pages or posts of your website if your website isn't completed yet or ready to be commented on. So you can untick this box just now. Another reason why you'd want to untick this box is because, you know, a lot of people just tend to spam you with comments and stuff. Okay, and down the bottom here you can choose, if you decide to allow people to comment on your pages and posts, you can choose the image that will appear next to their comment. Now if you choose the first one here, what's going to happen is if they have a gravatar set up, then their image that they've put up was going to be displayed next to their comment. So it might be a good idea to keep this one there as the default avatar. Okay, next you're going to come down to permalinks. Now in here, what you're going to want to do is change. Originally when you come in here, it's going to be day and name. Now you're going to want to change that to post name. The reason for this is I don't like to be my articles to be date specific. So you know, when if you come down and click post name, what's going to happen is when you write an article, for example, say on this website we're reviewing a television antenna and the name of the television antenna is Sony such and such, then it's going to be tvantennas.com/Sony blah blah blah, and that's going to be good for SEO. You know, it's a huge benefit. Okay, next you're going to want to come to the pages section. Now when you upload WordPress for the first time, you're not going to have all these pages in here, quite obviously, but what's going to happen is you're going to have one page in here called the sample page. Now you're just going to want to trash that and go into the trash and delete it permanently. That way that you've got no default page here, and then you're going to want to come to add new. Now in here you're going to want to call this your about page. Now depending on what your website's about, this is either going to be about you or about the website in general, depending if it's going to be a niche site or a branded domain. Okay, so after you do this, you're just going to want to publish it, and that will be that one saved. Now I'm not going to publish this just now because I already have my about page. The next one you're going to want to add is your privacy policy. So you're going to come to add new again and call this page your privacy policy. Again, you're just going to type in privacy policy. After you create this page, you're going to want to publish it, and what I'll do is I'll leave a link to a privacy policy underneath this video which I use, and all you're going to need to do is change the name of my website to your website. Okay, the next page you're going to want to create is possibly your contact page. Again, depending on what kind of website you're running, you're going to obviously decide yourself whether you're going to need a contact page or not. Okay, so after you've done that, you're going to want to come to posts. No, sorry, you're going to want to come to categories. Now this is going to be you creating your blog category. Now in here you're just going to want to edit this uncategorized section and call it blog. Now the reason we're doing this is because when you create a new post, or when you create a new post, you're going to come in and, in fact I'll show you. When you create a new post, you're going to want to choose which category it goes under. So for example, on this website I've got two categories. Well, one category has a few more subcategories, but in general I've got two categories, and when I publish a post I tick which category I want it to go into and I hit publish. Now the reason these categories in here don't say blog is because I created these categories in the reviews section, and that's just a feature that comes with this theme, so you won't get that unless you're using this theme. You're going to want to come in and create it in your post section under category like we just done. Now in this category section I'll just show you what I've done. So it's the same principle as what we've done before. You're just going to name the category you want. So I called one of my categories indoor TV antennas, and I saved it. So that's what you've seen appearing in the reviews section there. Okay, so it's the same principle you follow. So that's going to be the next thing you do, is create your blog category. After this, you're going to want to come down and update your plugins. Now, before we go any further, I just want to point out that I've already started adding content to this website, so I'm really just showing you how I got there. So it's going to look different right now from what yours looks like. For example, you won't have this big message up here saying that one of your plugins has to be configured because you haven't added any plugins yet. But basically, on the front end of this website, it looks very different from what yours is going to look like. I'll show you roughly what yours is going to look like in a second, but this is basically the front end of my website, and that's just because of the theme that I'm using. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is add our plugins. Okay, so from here we're going to want to come over to the plugins section, and we're just going to add some plugins that that I like to use to help with my site SEO. So the very first one we're going to use is CBNet Ping Optimizer. Now basically what this does is, see whenever you create a page or a post and hit publish, what happens is your website sends out like a virtual blowhorn to say, basically, I've got a new post or page and come read it, come see what it's about. So every single time you publish that post or page, it sends out this little message, and every single time you go back and edit that page, it sends out a little message to say, basically, come and read my post. But this isn't a good thing, because if you can imagine, when you write a page or post, you're going to go back and edit that maybe 50 times before you're totally satisfied with it, and every single time that you update that page or post, it's going to continuously send out that little message over and over again, and basically that's not good for your site, because effectively you run the risk of basically telling Google that you're a spammer, or you run the risk of Google blacklisting your website. So what CBNet Ping Optimizer does is, it only lets you ping the services once every single time you update. Okay. So the next plugin we're going to add is Robots Meta. Now basically what this plugin does is, it's basically, it says to Google, don't index my author feed, my categories and my blog posts and stuff like that, just index the content. And the next plugin we're going to activate is the all-in-one SEO plugin. Now this is a really good plugin, because this lets us basically take control of what our site looks like to Google in the search engines. So basically, what your site looks like in Google, look here, I'll show you. For example, if we were to Google something to do with Kindle Fire keyboard case and get the results back in the SERPs, then the little meta title that appears at the top here is, we can control what that says in Google. And basically this is good for SEO. Now, here where it says Amazon Kindle Fire, slash Kindle keyboard. This is called a meta title, and by using all-in-one SEO we can control what that says. We can also control what the meta description says in here, so by being able to control that, we want to take advantage of this and try and target our keyword in here as much as possible to help optimize our website. So that's basically what all-in-one SEO does. And I think that's us done. Oh no, we've got one more plugin to add, SEO by Yoast. Now I prefer this plugin over all-in-one SEO, but um, I couldn't go without using both of them, because all-in-one SEO lets me control what my homepage looks like to Google, but the SEO by Yoast lets me control what every page looks like to Google. Now this is a great little tool. This lets you, it basically tells you everything you have to do to optimize one page of your website for Google, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Okay, so I think that's pretty much us. The last plugin you're going to want to add is the bulletproof security. Now this is a really good plugin for locking down your htaccess file. I'll do a short tutorial on this later on how to actually set up the bulletproof security, but what to do is install that plugin as well, because that's going to be really important. And the next plugin you're going to want to install is the Google XML sitemap, because basically all this does is when you update a page or post, it sends out a sitemap to Google, basically telling Google that you've updated your site or post and updated your page or post, sorry, and it helps Google index your website better. Okay, so just a few things we have to do here. I'm going to come across to the settings page and adjust my settings for the all-in-one SEO. Well, in fact, it looks like my settings have already stayed the same from the last time I installed it, but basically what you're going to want to do is here, the home title is what we're talking about, this part up here, the meta title. So if we could control what this person or what Amazon is wrote for their meta title, it would say Amazon Kindle Fire. Now that's what they've basically wrote in the home title area. Hypothetically speaking, they've wrote Amazon Kindle Fire in here for that, so that would be their home title. For your home description, this is going to be what's displayed in this section here, where it says Amazon Kindle Fire, the bit that's highlighted. So we can take advantage of this and actually target our keyword in this section, which is great for SEO. You're going to want to leave your home keyword separate, because I just found out recently watching a webinar off Jay at Wealthy Affiliate that basically Google doesn't, according to Matt Cutts, Google doesn't actually use the home keywords anymore. So yeah, so that's all I want to do in this section just now. So we're just going to click Update Options. And that's pretty much us so far. So we'll just go over what we've done so far. Basically, we started off with some keyword research, so we went and we found our niche. We've done a bit of niche research, and basically we know that if we're looking for a keyword, we don't want to go for one that's too competitive, because if the QSR is too high, then we're going to just move on. We don't want to stick with a keyword that has really high competition, because it's going to take a lot of time and effort to get ranked for that keyword. Okay, we also know that if we're stuck with a niche, we can use the alphabet soup, which basically means going and using Google Instance tool, and that'll help us find some long-tailed keywords which are a lot more targeted and convert a lot better. We also know to find our real competition in Google, if you want to cross-reference Jax's QSR, or if you're using Google AdWords, the free tool, to find your real competition, you'll put your keyword into Google Instant in quotes and you'll head to the very last page. Now we know that we want the competition to be under 400 competing web pages, so the QSR should be under 400, and when you get to the last page of Google, the competing web pages should be under 400. You can use or target keywords that are over 400 competing web pages. It will just take a little more effort to get indexed for that keyword, but you generally don't want to go over the 500 mark, because from there on it's really just your luck whether how many pages are compete for that keyword. It could be 1,000, it could be 600, it could be anything from there on. Okay, so we also looked at buying our domain. So once we found our keyword, we went to buy our domain, and we went over the difference between a keyword rich and a branded domain. So basically, a keyword rich domain is better used for niche websites, and a branded domain is better used for something you're passionate about and you want to make a long-term business out of. So branded domains are for long-term success. We went over setting our name servers. So if you want to set your name servers, you have to go through your login page to HostGator and change the name servers 1 and 2 to what you got in your account information email. Next we set up WordPress, and we've updated our settings, we've removed default pages, and we've added pages such as the About Me, the Contact page, the Privacy Policy, and we went into our categories section and we added the blog page. I forgot to mention, with the blog page, that won't show up on your menu bar on your front end of your website until you create a post and select the category that you want to put it in, being blog, and hit update. At that moment, your blog category will appear on your front end, but until then your blog category won't appear even though you've created it. Okay, so now that we're pretty much up to date with everything to do with so now that we've went from having an idea about a keyword to doing the keyword research to actually setting up a website, which was quite easy, we now have to change the look of our website. Okay, so I'm just going to show you just now what your website would look like, on a rough idea of what your website would look like if you didn't have the theme that I was using just now. So if we come over to theme options, no, appearance, sorry, themes. Now this is the theme that I've got installed on my website right now, but when you start, it's very likely that your theme is going to either be 2011, 2010 or the 2012 theme. Okay, so this is basically roughly what your website is going to look like when it starts without all the added content. Okay, so when you first start your website, it's going to look roughly like this. It won't have the home, about, or any of these other menus here. These are the ones that I've added in the pages section and published, and that's why they're appearing on my menu bar. Okay, so this is basically what your website is going to look like, nice and pretty basic, but it's clean. Okay, but we're going to want to change this to give the website a little more of a review sort of website feel to it. So to do this, you are going to want to go, and either two options: you can buy a theme or you can use the WordPress themes that are already available. Now, to do this, all you're going to want to do is, well, to buy a theme, you can either Google themes for a website. There's two places that I would recommend. There's one that's Elegant Themes. I think it's $49 for the year, and you can use all of their themes. I think they have maybe 60 themes that you can choose from. And this one I'm using now is a review theme. It's called Pro Review Theme. I like the theme, but I wouldn't recommend using it if you don't know enough about themes or you're not part of Wealthy Affiliate to get help with it, because the support from it is virtually non-existent. I've posted a few emails to them for help and I've got absolutely nothing back. So, you know, there's always other themes out there you can use. So once you buy a theme, or once you find a theme that you want and you download it, you're going to come to save it in one of your folders on your site. So I've got mine in my documents folder and it's called Pro Review Theme. Now if I wanted to upload that theme to my site, I would just go to Install Themes, Upload, and I'm just going to choose the file. Okay, so basically you browse through your files, you find it and you click Install, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Okay, so we know that that's in my documents folder. I would browse to that and I would click on it and I would click install, and when that theme installs, it's going to appear down here with the rest of them. So let's say the 2011 was the theme, that my default theme, that would appear up here where this theme is, and the one that you've just uploaded would appear down here. So all you would do is click activate and that's you got the theme activated. If you don't want to buy a theme, you can use some free themes that WordPress actually have, and all you do is filter through the themes. So say you wanted black, a one column theme with a fixed width, and that's the feature you want. You click find themes and this will bring up a list of the themes under that category. Or you can just, you don't have to categorize it, you can just click find themes and look through all the ones that's that they've got. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll show you how I added the homepage content, so you get an idea of how content's actually published. Okay, so this was the name of my homepage. This was just my keyword that I used in here. So for the title, I used my keyword, and in here, once the page loads, in here I wrote my content, and all I did was, after I wrote all the content, I clicked update, and this is basically the page that that was created after it. So this is basically all there is to it. You write the content in there, you click update, and that's your content added to your website. So it really is quite simple. There's nothing hard about it. It's really easy to set up a website and start earning money from it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much us for now. I don't think there's any other major things we have to cover. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful, and if you have any questions at all, you can either leave me a comment at the bottom of the page, or you can contact me through the contact page and leave a comment on my WA profile. I'll probably get back to you a lot faster if you leave me a comment on the WA profile, but leave comments at the bottom of this page if you have any questions or you need any help with anything at all, and I'll make sure I get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so thanks for swinging by, guys, and I hope this helped.